The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tokucast Reviews, episode number 173.
Yes.
Marcus and Jacob here to review the newest entry in the Garo series, Garo, Heir to the Steel Armor, which has just ended. So, again, blanket statement as with all of our reviews, they are spoiler reviews. This is a show that just ended, so if you have not watched this yet and you want to, add this to your favorites, watch later, come back when you're done, and pick it up from there.
It seemed like everything came out around my birthday this year. This finished. Beyonce came out with a new album. It was crazy last weekend.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Godzilla and Kong back again.
Yeah. But yeah, this. I'm struggling. I told Jacob a very long story about something that happened yesterday.
Yes.
So.
Wow, then out with Nick Cannon.
Yes. Anyway, girl. I liked it.
I did too.
There were some things I felt like it could have been paced a little bit differently.
Mm.
And some things definitely I feel like should have happened. But on the whole, I like seeing Ryuga in a mentor role. For all of this. That was, I mentioned that before, it's a little odd to see him. But like after everything that happened with Jenga, it makes sense. Still waiting on a resolution to that because Jenga happened.
Yeah, I'm still not sure where that's going to go.
If Masahiro Inoue comes back, which he might. He does a lot of like streaming stuff now, along with managing his company. So
we shall see. But getting started with the opening, what do you think?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's, an orchestral Gregorian chant type of opening. Usual Garo fare.
Yeah, I like the visuals that go with it, though.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. So the story of this one, we have Ryuga, our Golden Knight, is asked by Makai Priestess to come to Kei City, this new location, to mentor and help the knights that are working there.
Yes, Soma specifically.
Specifically Soma.
As we talked about in our first impression, had a real big chip on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. And it gets explained throughout the rest of the show why. Mm. And why he even has a bigger one when he sees Ryuga use his dad's
technique.
Yeah. Hisatsuwaza?
Hisatsuwaza? This show is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It does have its fair share of twists. But for the most part, it's a quick 12 episodes. It was a pretty easy watch. I watched most of it last night.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think probably the most interesting thing sort of happens early on. The office building that we talked about before. At least that was how episode 3
in our first impressions with like the Wolf of Wall Street homage, where we have people screaming on the phones.
Yeah, and where
Agito a boss screaming with a microphone.
Yeah, where Agito was screaming at everybody.
Because the guy's played by Agito, which is cool.
So I remember one behind the scenes picture of him and Ghost doing their rider poses.
Cool.
Yeah. I think that was probably my favorite episode of the show and the one I remember the most. Because we got to see everybody like really show off in episode 4.
Yes, it's a great set piece.
Yes.
I think the strongest thing that this show has going for it is the action.
Yes,
there is a lot of out of suit fighting.
Yeah, the fight in the forest,
with the old guy.
Yeah,
the forest spirit. That's a really good one. Pretty much every action scene is shot, it's like at the dark, practical set. For the most part, they're all pretty well lit. The choreography is great.
Yeah.
The choreography and the stunt work, I think, is fantastic throughout this. And the action just, even in like the sparring sessions that we get in the 3rd episode, everything just feels like it hits really hard. And the movements are all quick and precise.
Actually, a lot of the horror fights in the show happen at the beginning, and then they move on to
because there really are just the two. Because
there are 3.
Well, there's like
3 big ones.
There's like the 3 big horrors. We have like the horde fight in the office building, and then we have the idol, and then it's like the next half of the show is more of a serialized, like actually like character stuff.
The idol one was crazy. all of that happening in the club. That was a really good one. I like that episode a lot, especially the resolution of it because it's very bittersweet. I mean, it's sort of like, we end up seeing who this girl was and then who she ends up becoming to be, and then the horror, and then the horror gets cut out of her, but she's still dead. So
yeah, but it is kind of a shocking sight to see that, to see them be like, oh, did they actually kind of pull what Jenga did in the beginning of Fang of God, where he can exorcise the horror but leave the host, but that turns out not to be the case. But in this case, it's like, oh, did they exorcise the horror from her? It's like, no, but then they do that shot where he sheathes his sword slowly, and when it clicks, she disintegrates, and then that's it. But yeah, so main story, we have Ryuga mentoring these 4 knights. There's
3. Igusu, the older one.
Well, because there's Soma and then the other ones.
The older one,
right? Igus.
Yeah, was basically the other two's mentor.
But they want somebody with more experience. They want the Golden Knight, and there is something to be said for, because we've never seen armor like this before.
Yeah,
we've never seen
a shared armor,
or a different kind of armor. It's always just been the Golden Knight or the Silver Knight, but this is it is steel armor, and it looks great.
Yeah, it does.
It looks really good. That's one of the best things about the show. I know I already mentioned the choreography, but the monster and costume designs, especially.
Well, we have actually seen them before. It's just we haven't seen them
unnamed characters like this.
Yeah, because usually, they have pictures of them. It's just they're a generic armor.
Yeah,
I guess if you don't have a very specific one that you can go into, and it can be shared because Ryuga uses it at the end of the show because something happens to the Garo armor.
Yep, and. One of the other knights, freezing on his name. It was the youngest one.
Oh, Ghost? Obi?
Obi, thank you. Obi as in one Kenobi.
Yes.
So Obi tends to refer to him as in their first meetings as Golden Knight, Mr. Golden Knight, Sensei, that sort of thing. He's like, no, just call me Ryuga. We're all knights here, because to them this is truly a master has come from far away to aid them in their training, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of those
to
things,
see the outside perspective of how the hero of a previous show is viewed.
Yeah, especially because in this case, it's been a couple years. But yeah, all of the Hagane armors, basically from what I can see on the wiki, they're just untitled. They don't have a title. Soma's father has a titled armor.
Yeah. His looks really good, though.
The
white armor, really good stuff.
They don't use white a lot, but it's cool when they do. I think the last one they used was Taiga. So.
Yeah.
Spear one.
Yeah, so for the first couple Monster of the Week episodes, I think my favorite was the one with the ape. The ape horror.
The second one.
My God, that might be the single coolest, greatest monster design in all of Toku. It looks so good.
It does look good. I just think that it's utilized so much more in the Idol episode because that one can take the abilities of other ones, and which ends up killing the older knight.
This is that's a problem I had with this show. His death felt
out of nowhere.
I'm not going to say it felt out of nowhere. It felt unnecessary in the way that it happened. I felt like it was easily avoided.
I can also
because she's absorbing abilities, and she grows a set of claws, sharp Wolverine claws, and she's walking towards Obi. Obi is downed, and she's getting ready to strike him, and you hear you hear the sound of metal piercing flesh, and then we cut and we see that he has jumped in the way of her stab, but she's standing 10 feet away. She's standing a good distance away from Obi when this happens.
Shoot the claws.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how it happened.
No, because he's standing he gets right in front of her and just and he gets stabbed in the back. And I feel like this is a death that could have been easily avoided.
Yeah, I feel like he could just drag Obi out of the way.
He could have easily dragged Obi out of the way, or he could have slashed her to get her away. But no, I must sacrifice myself despite... It's like the Austin Powers steamroller scene.
Oh no! It's coming towards
me! And, but then it cuts to the wide shot, and they're like 100 feet apart from each other.
Who was it? The guy from Mad TV, Michael McDonald, I think was his name. I think that was the actor from House.
But it kind of reminded me of that, because it cuts to the shot, and it's like they're so far away from each other. I feel like you didn't need to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah, it was weird.
It just felt like adding drama for the sake of adding drama, and it was dumb. But
then the second half of the show happens. They're trying to, find that gate to darkness.
So yes, Soma's father is suspected of being involved in like the disturbance with a gate to darkness, which is kind of like I forget the exact name of it, but the door from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that in terms of like the depictions that we see of it in the drawings and the opening song and the power that it's capable of holding, and it had to be sealed away, and it does terrible things. And
Mike McDonald.
Yeah, why not? I'm sure he's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But yes, so there's something going on there. We go into the forest. We meet a forest spirit, have a good fight with him. There's a gem there that supposedly will seal, unlock, do some kind of magic with the gate to darkness. Since Ryuga has been able to conquer his inner darkness, he's able to touch the gem.
Yeah.
And he's able to take it.
Find out that Soma has not conquered his because the last time he tried his father's move, which basically takes in darkness to use it as a source of a weapon.
You draw in your darkness, you convert it to light like inside of you, and then you use that as like a magic attack.
Which Soma could not do, and he basically got overtaken by his own darkness.
And attacked his own father while in like a fugue state.
Yeah.
Great scene.
Yeah.
Really good scene. Well done. But that's when the twist happens. So Mutsugi.
They go into a maze.
Yes, a labyrinth.
Yes. With, the Makai priestess that's been with them the entire time, who's pretty cool.
They're going with both of them.
Yeah,
because there's two, Koyori and Mutsugi.
Yeah.
Mutsugi is Soma's partner, very worried about him and the state that he's in ever since.
Koyori is.
Yeah, Koyori, ever since what happened with his father. Looking out for a friend, and so they get separated. They go through some trials. They have to go through a gate. I believe it's Mutsugi and is it Ryuga who go through to the final area first, or is it her and Soma?
I think
it's her and Soma.
Her and Soma.
It's her and Soma. Yeah, they go through the final area, and that is when we get a heel turn. Turns out Mutsugi is planning to use this
to rid
the world of evil as she sees,
by basically infecting everybody with a horror. And
not necessarily infecting them with horror, but people who possess the potential to turn into horrors will like instantly be identified.
Yeah.
And they can just be executed because they can be bad.
Which is, I think
they pose an interesting moral quandary with her character, because the reason she wants to do this is because she saved a man from being killed by a horror, and that man later went on to become a serial killer.
Yeah.
And
or he was one and they didn't know.
Either or, but either way, like, because we see like a memorial of victims and her just standing over it looking despondent, and we see there's some good dialogue scenes with her and Soma's dad, Garo, and some good dialogue scenes there, and we find out what her plan is.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty interesting.
It's
interesting and it's well done.
I think, it's a very interesting plan. I do think the one misstep here was sidelining Ron and Obi and basically leaving them behind. I mean, they did need somebody to protect the city.
Yeah.
But
even then, they don't do anything because nothing happens.
Yeah, so I think that's just
because she unseals the gate.
Yeah.
She unseals the gate and turns into Diancie, and...
I thought she was back at Garden.
Yay!
But apparently, like, they went to the gate originally, and it was going to be broken open, and then Godo basically turned into the monster form, which we haven't seen that much of in a while, and reseals it at the cost of his own life and the armor. You would think at the end of the show that someone would end up taking his dad's armor, but that doesn't happen.
It might have been because it's still involved in the seal or something. But
maybe it might have been destroyed.
Yeah, who knows? But anyway, because Obi and Ron, the other two knights, they're stuck in the city. The people who possess Inga just kind of like freeze in place, and their eyes go all white, or like reverse, like black and white. They look kind of freaky. But then, like, nothing happens.
Yeah, I think that was one. Like, there was no stakes outside of what was happening inside.
I mean, there are stakes of, like, if she wins, then, like, you know, she's gonna kill who knows how many people.
Yeah.
It'll be mass genocide. So those are the stakes. But because nothing is actually actively happening outside of that to let you know what is going on, like no one is actively turning into a horror
So you're sitting
or
there
attacking them.
Sort of like,
And you're just kind of waiting for it to happen.
yeah.
I do think the acting in this show is very good.
It feels a little stilted in some places, but nothing is like, oh God, why? Nothing. Ghost is better, but he also isn't in the show that much.
He's got a better script.
Yeah.
He's got a much better script.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think he's a bad actor. It's just he needed somebody who wasn't the person who was doing Ghost.
But yeah, he's fine. The actor who plays Ron, he's fine. Aegis was okay. Mutsugi, because we get like the two different sides of her character.
Can I tell you, I love when the Makai Priest fight more than anything else in this show. Like in Garo in general, because it gets so flashy and so cool. We all know how much I love Jabby. The queen. Yes. But a little bit like Mutsugi was out here bodying bitches. And I was just sitting here like, okay, she's evil, but so, like, work. You better work, Diva. I was like, oh, I don't want to root for the villainess, but this is the type of moment I just wish I had long nails just so this was. But those who know. But yeah, I was like, oh, I love it. The Makai Priest fights are always so cool because they get really inventive. And it shows, like, especially in action direction and things like that, because it's not something you can see. You have to do this all with CGI after the fact. It ends up becoming just that much more fun to watch.
They do, and I think it speaks to the entire combat design of the entire show, the choreography, the effects and everything. The way it all comes together, because you are dealing with magic, you are dealing with elements that will be added in post. They do a great job of making sure everything is in camera. I like the angles that are used. Again, like the choreography and the speed at which the actors move around the space.
Especially Ryuga.
It's really good. Yeah.
But Ryuga's been doing this for a good minute now, and he's just really good at it.
We mentioned it a bit earlier, but yeah, great to see Ryuga in a mentor role, and it really feels like the character has matured.
Yeah, it really does.
It feels like he does not feel like the same person that we left at the end of Goldstorm.
No. Especially with Rian not being there. But, I mean, he does pull out her hair.
Nothing to do with the show itself, but I was a little disappointed Rian wasn't here because I really like those two together. He did take
a picture with her, like, right before the show came.
Oh, the actors?
Yeah.
Well, that's cute.
Apparently, I think she was busy, so that's why she couldn't be there. But her hair...
But they do, the post-credit scene of the last episode, we do see him pull her hair ornament out. He, looks at it and smiles, puts it back, continues his journey back.
Yeah. Especially because they have to re-purify the armor.
So I'm guess. I mean, that could be the next show.
Yeah.
Is the two of them, working together to purify the armor? So that could be good.
I would love to see them back together. Didn't like her much in the third season, but everything else afterwards.
Because she matured and became a better person.
Yeah. The last fight where she turns into Mecha Gardevoir and then infects the armor. I mean, she's been sort of like infecting someone the entire time to break open the gate, and then he does.
Yep.
And then he breaks free with Ryuga's help, and then they turn into a dual blade for the most part and break her in half after she goes like she really does turn into Mecha Gardevoir out here making black holes and shit. Although to be fair, regular Gardevoir can do that. I do read a lot of the Wikipedia, Bulbapedia stuff like that. But yeah,
those Pokedex entries.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just so interesting.
It has the ability to create black holes. If this Pokemon gets upset, it will destroy the entire world.
And you're sitting here like...
And I'm carrying this thing in my pocket. Yeah. No.
It's just here.
You're staying here where nothing bad will happen.
It's just here vibing. But yeah, the last couple episodes and, that last final fight against Mizuki as she gets taken over by the red horror lady.
The seducer is how she is listed in the credits.
Yeah, she's really got like her though.
Love the look, yeah.
Yeah. That Fierce Bang. Don't need nothing else.
She's all bangs.
Yeah, she is bang.
The eye covering bangs, the long fingernails, the red dress.
You know what I was surprised by?
That's sexy.
Just because of how Garo is, and we know how Garo always ends. no fight against giant naked woman.
I'm okay with it.
I know. I'm
okay
just
with
like,
it.
That didn't happen this
There's
time.
a time and a place. I don't think this was it.
And also because of the fact that it all aired on YouTube, so they couldn't probably do it there. It aired on regular TV as well, but it's one of those things that's also on YouTube, and I just think it's really funny because that's how Garo always is. Still a good show, though.
Yes. One thing that I want to mention, it's a little thing, but the end credits of the final episode, I wish more shows did this where like the end credits were more stylized for the last episode.
Yeah.
Where they're showing you animatics and like silhouettes of the characters like doing poses and fighting. And it goes through character by character and it actually says like Ryuga played by so-and-so, Soma played by so-and-so. And it actually gives you, it's like the end credits of an MCU movie where it'll have like a silhouette of the character and then, their title card, their credentials, and I like that. I like that a lot. I wish more shows did that. That was pretty cool.
It was very interesting.
I mean, it even gives credit to like all the suit actors.
Yeah,
it goes through like this person played the human form of the monster. This person was the horror wearing all the makeup, and that's really nice. I wish more shows did that.
Yeah, this is quite a good show. Mm-hmm. It's short. You can watch it really in an afternoon, and
12 episodes,
afternoon and the evening, and you'll be good to go. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good one. I really quite enjoyed my time with this one. I really hope we end up getting another project soon. Now that it seems that the pachinko market has bounced back, because that's what funds Garo.
Oh goodness.
Yep, that's why we didn't get any after VR, because COVID happened. Also, sequel to VR. I want characters to get attached to again. Like, I that's sort of the one thing I sort of miss.
I'm okay with Kwon's story being over, but
we need
Azami is still out there.
Yeah, we need something to beat her.
If anything can, who knows?
Yeah.
Because she seems downright unstoppable.
Garo VR was just like, this is for the people who love horror fights and the gays.
And Battle Royale.
Yeah, so it's like that. That's really who VR was for.
A gay royale.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, yeah, this is the moment. And I really enjoyed this. So I guess we'll see what happens next. Ryoga's son is, that story is over. So maybe we could get something with maybe the grandson or something like that. We already had Hot Granddad.
Mm-hmm.
So
we still have Jenga's story. That's still up in the air.
Jenga's story needs to be finished.
It ends on like, the darkest of darkest timelines with just all the bad stuff happening and who knows where that's going to go.
Craziness.
Mm-hmm.
God, that show was crazy.
The show was okay, but that ending was just whoa.
That was crazy. It was crazy. Wow, not when they canon. But yeah, let us know what you thought of Heir to Steel Armor in the comments below. Next up for us is the original Ultraman. Finally
got pushed back a week because of this.
Yeah.
But we are doing that next. I look forward to next review where we can talk about violence.
So we're talking about Beyonce's Jolie.
Beyonce's Jolene is the theme song, preemptively.
Yeah.
She knew what was going on.
Yeah, she knew violence was happening.
She knew violence was Ultraman's message.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't forget to join us all the things. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.